Nej, jag ska bara klippa.
Ja, jajamän.
Jag lägger det åt mig.
Yeah, boy. 35.6 degrees. 35.6. Not even mad. I wanted to go in and buy a weighted blanket. It's gonna be so cozy. It's a weighted blanket. Weighs around 12 pounds. It's supposed to be cozy and soothing. I need me some soothing from my hard life, man. I'm riding the EXN on a modified version of accelerated stability, and today I thought that I was gonna maybe talk a bit about relationships and my experience in relationships, but instead I'm gonna talk about the hard mode in accelerated stability. So do with that what you will. I feel like I'm gonna go deliver food, and a lot of food. 12 pounds. 12 pounds of food. We got those lovely cars over there.
Echoes we all doing a monster mash. Most of the taxis, most of the homes are only taking calls for cash. I don't know how it happened. It all took place so quick. But all I can do is hand it to you.
The weight does throw me off a tiny bit. Something.
Well, now my door was standing open. Security will lay back and rest. It was only my heart that thought it broken. I must have had a fast key.
That was lovely.
You played rubbery with his loose, and I played the blues and
Going up a slope that goes to another slope. It's cold. And even with the glasses, I'm crying at high speed. It's nice to let it all out. There we go. Now the cars are there, now I can talk. So yesterday I was at home and Thomas and I were riding a bit back and forth. And Thomas was asking me about some of the nuances of the firmwares and so on and so on. And asking me, you know, what the 240 amps, what the 255 amps, what it feels like, and so on, you know, what it means. The phase amps, which is a modification of this firmware, to 255, otherwise for accelerated stability it would be 240. The phase amps is just like how much you can push into the motor. Before you push through the motor. So imagine having very, very low phase amps and doing some kind of movement like on an M10 or something like that. Then you would push through the motor. Something that I used to call skipping magnets. It's pushing through the motor. There are some things that can make it easier or harder to push it through the motor. One of them is leverage, but one of them is definitely phase amps, and it has become more in fashion to deliver higher phase amps to the wheels. As in the case of the T4. The T4 is 250 phase amps for the T4. That's a high-speed motor. but you just push more phase amps into it. I would love if I could do that with my Nikola. Oh boy, that would turn it into some hell of a donkey wheel. It will turn it into an unsuspended T4 actually. But if we look at this one, and you know, one of the things that we reflected on early on, in the early days of the EXN with the green motherboard, was how easy it was to skip through the motor. And that was 220. Same as the RSHS. But let's look at some of the nuances here, right? From pedal mode to pedal mode, from firmware to firmware. The medium mode of the accelerated stability has some pedal dip to it. And what I can say about pedal dip is that it assists in turning. It can feel very dramatic at low speeds. Of course. It can feel very intense at low speeds. But at high speeds it's nice because at high speeds it will give us some assistance in turning and in carving. And since generally at high speed we will be pushing quite hard into the wheel, either pushing into pads or we will be on the balls of our feet. And then it is nice if you have to do less work to get the wheel to turn and carve while you're on the balls of your feet. You can push down, not too aggressively. But if we look at the hard mode on accelerated stability, this is what I have to say about it. It is very unyielding. And by unyielding, I mean that when you push into it, it corrects. Actually, it overcorrects. So when you push into it, it pushes back. And when you push back into it, it pushes against you. There's something to it, because then you can push into the pads as they need to. But I mean, basically by overcorrecting, what it's doing is it's tilting back a tiny bit. And tilting back is generally not a favorable mechanism for going forward. Tilting back is actually known to be a slowing down mechanism. So the accelerated stability hard mode is unyielding. When you try to push into it, it pushes against you, sort of works against you. Now what happens when you reach a bump or other kind of difficulty? Well, since it is unyielding and unforgiving, it will also overcorrect when hitting a bump, which usually is not great news, because every bump will become that much more brutal. Every difficulty will become that much more difficult, simply because it is unyielding and working against you, instead of working together as a team. Also, the fact that it is correcting so aggressively during normal riding, during any bump, any irregularity, as in any super hard mode. This is a harder than hard mode. Because a hard mode, a perfectly hard mode, would just be totally straight all the time. And this is beyond that because it overcorrects. So this is harder than hard, right? It's quite hilarious. Now, of course, the EXN is an insanely exciting wheel. It's super fun to ride. Even with dynamic tilt back at 75%, you know, I can't complain about the speeds. I wouldn't say that this section here, this bike path, is one that I would typically riff on. I would rather be on the road because there are some irregularities here, but I have a tendency to do things for shits and giggles. This first bump is a doozy. There. If I die, I'm showing you off. I forgot about the backpack. Working my ass off with 12 pounds on my back. Jesus. And still girls with big asses do well riding at high speed. But I guess that's different. Yeah, buddy. Is it raining or snowing? There's some mist. I'm getting blinded while riding on this uncooperative mode. What's good about this mode, I would say, is that when you do have a mode that is like super, super solid, you know, then the response is instant, you know. Except for the overcompensation. Because then you're like a bowling pin being pushed back and forth. The overcompensation, the overcorrecting. Right? And now the firmwares that come after the accelerated stability, the latest one that they finally fixed all the glitches, the latest one is 245 phase amps, and that's enough. That felt super solid. It's rock solid. It was a bit slower, still rock solid in all modes. Not soft. In medium and hard. It was really good, and it did not pedal dip. And it just worked very nicely, but it was a bit slower. So what happens when it's a bit slower? Well, it's not as exciting. You know, it's not as exciting as the old mode, and you don't have to ride it on the hard mode. I could ride it on the medium mode, but then you got the pedal dip. But I don't mind the pedal dip. The medium mode is cooperative and works with you. So instead of fighting against you when you hit a bump, it will work with you. It will yield with you. It will flow with you. But a lot of people really like the hard modes. You know, they really, really like the hard modes. I ride the hard mode a lot on my MSX. I basically only ride it on the hard mode, but I ride my Nikola primarily on the soft mode. Just combined with the gyro of the tire, the heavy gyro that I have on my Nikola. It's good. They complement each other, and I feel that there are some gyro to this Kenda tire, and the pedal dipping in medium mode will allow me to carve at 40 miles an hour. You know, for those who want to do that. But I would not feel that confident carving on the overcorrecting hard mode. Which, the faster I go, requires me to be more and more on the balls of my feet. On my tiptoes, one could say. One could say that for me to get excitement out of the wheel, know that I need to be on my tiptoes while it is being overcorrecting and unyielding and uncooperative. Almost as it was actively disagreeing with me. So yeah, that's what I have to say about accelerated stability hard mode. We're not forced to ride it. It's exciting to ride, it is, no doubt, but we're not forced to ride it. You can just never use that mode again. Or change firmware. Or change pedal mode. And Godway allows us to do that within limits of what they keep in their library. Boy, these bombs are just such a mess. Such a mess. I asked the group if anyone wanted to join, and Ronnie said that he would like to join a bit later or ride a bit later, but I wanted to go out and get some sun. Because I mean, I wouldn't want to miss this. It's amazing. It's amazing. I wanted to get this blanket on Wednesday, but something popped up. I was thinking of wearing the TSG today because, you know, it's just easier to put the TSG on. Some kind of snow or hail. Pushing against me, terrible. Very uncooperative. Nasty. Constantly working against me. Even like in grooves, it behaves badly because it doesn't flow through them, you know. With some pedal dip or yielding or not being overcorrected, and maybe. But yeah, the backpack. Could be the backpack. Maybe the mode is really good. And maybe it's just that I don't know how to ride it properly. Maybe someone else would appreciate this mode more. Yeah. It is exciting though. Makes you feel alive because you're almost dying. You can really lean into it. You can really put your dick and balls right into it. Right? And it doesn't protest. It's just uncooperative. And that's exciting too. It's thrilling. All these bumps. It carves well. It carves well. That bump though. It doesn't overcorrect infinitely, but it overcorrects. Maybe with practice, you know, it could be something. But you know, when you try something and you do something and you're like trying to force yourself to like it, and you keep trying and you keep trying, and you keep investing and you keep trying. Yeah, no problem. No problem. They realized that they were on the bike path, so they moved and they said sorry and we laughed and we waved, right? And for me to be able to greet them and see them and have a connection, an emotional connection, a vibe, an attunement. Working together, mirroring, yielding, responding, meeting. Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed my explanation of the pedal mode and that this clip was not about relationships. Hope you enjoyed it. The pedal behavior is based on something called the PID model. And depending on the pedal mode, depending on how much you push, there will be more amps delivered. In the harder modes, more amps will be delivered. In the softer modes, less amps will be delivered. All of these settings, the P setting, the I setting, the D setting, the correcting setting, the overcorrecting setting, those can be set in firmware. But since the firmware is read-only, we can't write those values. If you have a one wheel, then you have sliders where you can play around and fiddle with those values. And that's quite cool. They give them different names, but they are the PID. So that's really, really cool. You can choose how stiff you want it to be. You can choose how much you want it to tilt. Because if you are accelerating into a turn on the hard mode while it's overcorrecting, because you're pushing into the turn, into the hard mode, so it is overcorrecting with a slight tilt back during the turn, it will increase the amount of forward lead that you need, and it will also increase the amount of sideways lead that you need, and probably increase the amount of shearing forces side to side. which can make for some interesting sliding scenarios, sliding out sideways. It would be interesting to test. And you can test and you can test and you can test with different variables and different pedal modes and different firmwares until you find something that you like. Mr. Dick and Balls, look at you. It's a little too cold. My hands are a little cold. Not this one, but the one that is death gripping the GoPro. That one is a bit cold. I just saw the straight over here and, well, we know how this goes. Oh, man! Oh, God! Oh my God, and it's not braking either because it's so stiff. So yeah, as the battery died, of course, you know, it's cold as balls. So you're at that high speed, you know, maybe you'll hit a bump, you're like pushing in, you start getting into a slope, it's overcorrecting, so it's like pushing you back until it no longer needs to overcorrect, but still you gotta push and push and push because you're at high speed, high wind, and so on and so on. And then from being in this aggressive forward stance, you're like starting to tilt backwards. And as you tilt backwards, the overcorrection stops. That's funny as hell. Look at that. Look at my headlight. A cyclist is like this. He's coming towards me and he's like this. Don't look into my fucking light. Jesus Christ, man. Or look at the fucking sky or something. What? It's down here, dude. You're up here. My God. Oh, maybe it's the accelerated stability mode, tilting it backwards into his eyes. It must be that. It must be that. Of course, of course. Let's make excuses for the firmware. The firmware is... It can't help it. The firmware is just the way it is. It doesn't know any better. It means well. So as an added bonus, maybe it blinds people, right? That will also come extremely handy when riding at high speed at night, as it illuminates the sky and not the ground. Who knows? Maybe I'll find that out later on today. It's great. It's great. And then at a skate park, as you go up a slope and you push into it and it overcorrects towards you, then you're going to land on a backward tilted wheel that is burning out backwards. You're going to land in a backwards burnout. So let's see, backwards burnout. Yeah, it will shoot out backwards. Actually, that will be quite hard to correct with posture. I've done the opposite. I've landed on a forward burning out wheel, you know, that took off in my slinky body just slinky, the slinky's a wonderful toy. Slinky, the slinky is fun for a girl or a boy, or a helicopter or a sheep, or someone who identifies as a battle tank. gonna be hell for you guys. Maybe I'll just do a chooch voiceover.
Yeah, hi
Do a
guys.
chooch
So today we're
voiceover,
going to
and
talk
I'll
about the
do a
accelerated
voiceover of
stability
me talking
firmware.
while I'm talking.
That is a modified version from Built.
See.
Just kidding.
Yeah, look at you. Charming, honey. Charming. Charming girl. Charming girl, man. I wonder what firmware she's using. Wasn't particularly cooperative. Oh, look, the straight. Oh, damn. I would have loved to hit the beats, but Mr. McFella, old dude, was over there, and I didn't want to rip past him at high speed and give him a heart attack. I didn't hear you coming. Do you hear cyclists coming? So as you can see, there are very little leaves left. It snowed yesterday. It snowed today. It's not warm enough for the snow to stick around yet. Not warm enough, not cold enough. So the snow just pretty much disappears as it touches the ground. Maybe it sticks around on some cars. I think I would like some pizza tonight. And I need to buy a new neck tube. And next time, maybe I'll wear some thin gloves under these mittens. This hand is okay. This one could have been a little bit warmer. It feels very sporty. Maybe I'll stick to it. I'll stick to it and see. It'd be interesting to try them with the new Grizzla, the Flow ones. Yeah, that was charming.
Hey, how about you?
Yeah. Is Mr. Creepy Man? He's gonna walk out straight into the path? Yes, he is. Doctor went out to pee into the bushes and then went and walked straight out into the path. Totally clueless and looked like he just woke up from a daze, like, huh? That was a long way to go sleepwalking and pee. You missed your toilet by a few hundred feet, buddy. And then, after him, there's a blind guy. Where am I? What is this circus? But yeah, what can you say? To all of my brothers out there who have been using firmwares that have not really agreed with you, there are other firmwares out there. Just need to find the right one. Oh man! when I hit this stupid ledge, it overcorrected and I almost fell off the front. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Yeah. Today I was smart. You smart. I put the extra battery in my pocket so that the heat from my dick and balls could keep it warm. I'll just find the right zipper here. So if you bought something for $20, then I could use my $10 coupon that I got for my birthday. You have to buy something for $20, and this blanket that comes in its own carrying bag doesn't cost $20. It normally costs $60, and it was reduced to $19.99. And $19.99 is not $20. So I had to buy a candle for 50 cents. So now I got this candle. Now this is really funny because this bag is like really nice. It's a really, look at this, this is a really nice bag. Which is a pity because I'm never gonna use it. So this is just like a weighted blanket, you know. Normally these will be like some kind of glass pearls. Right, some small glass pearls. That's pretty heavy, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's one of these dehumidifier things. Absorgel. That's cool. I have a couple of other, you know, cozy blankets, but I've had them for so long. This is a nice untouched blanket. Untouched and untainted. As my phone vibrates to the moon and back. Francisco, what you up to, buddy? What you up to? 2 o'clock over here, 8 o'clock over there. Looking sunny, honey. Looking sunny. Yeah. And damn, Jamie. Sorry to hear about your teeth, man. And that stuff ain't cheap. All right. Time for some tunes, some coffee, a cigarette, some chill, and then workout. 4 hours until workout time. I got things to do. Gotta start doing some fiddly diddly for Black Week, for Lazy Rolling. Oh yeah! Peace!
Det var anledningen att man inte håller så.
Bara hänga i eld. Bara hänga i eld.
Var det så va?
Nej, jag glider ner. Ja, jag glider ner. Tack, Bob. Jag glider ner. Så. Ja. Jag gör så här.
Well, at least it ain't snowing. But it is. Oh yeah.